Peace Collective, welcome back to the realm of alignment where we unlock the body's hidden code. Okay, so today we are going to be talking about releasing the things that no longer serve us so that we can move forward in appreciating and receiving the things that we do want. Okay, so when I pulled cards today to ask my spirit team what the collective needs to hear today, what I got was the energy of releasing old things, stepping out of an old timeline by literally going into the dark, literally going into your shadow side and combating that energy by addressing it. Not combating it with, in terms of fighting with your shadow side, but more so in terms of overcoming, I should say, is a better word. Overcoming that shadow energy by addressing what it is that you need to get rid of. Two cards that came out that stood out to me was the Two Swords and the Death card. I got this heavy energy so strongly of this needs to be something that needs to be cut out, like completely cut out and removed, like it needs to be killed, dead that energy. You might have heard that term before. You need to dead that. So I feel like the collective right now, you might be experiencing a need to cancel out and remove, completely kill something or a part of yourself that is hindering you from moving forward. And also with the Two of Swords, it's making me feel like this has a lot to do with decision making. Like there is a choice that you need to make, or a choice that you have already made that you haven't accepted yet, or something that's been removed from your life that you haven't accepted yet. And then that circles me back around to there could be a grieving around this energy of whatever that you release. You cut something out of your life, or it was abruptly removed from you because you needed it to be cleansed out of your space, and now you're grieving that thing. So some of you may have heard of my Chakra Land program. This is a program where I do a very much intense look into shadow work, starting from the root chakra all the way up to the soul star chakra. So that's past the crown. I've been doing this since 2023. I've discovered something this time around, because each time I go into Chakra Land, I always put myself through my own programs. Each time I go in, I learn something new about myself, of course, on a deeper level. Even though it's on a deeper level, the things that I discover to be the most life-changing are usually the simplest things that are so easy to miss. The one thing that I was missing was, I had to learn how to take accountability, self-accountability. But there was something I was missing, and it really was what self-sabotaging looks like. What does self-sabotaging look like? At first, I couldn't answer that question. And then, as Chakra Land does, every week will manifest in your life. And you'll be physically tested in real life on what you're actually working through for that week. It always manifests. Ask anybody who's been a part of Chakra Land. It will manifest in your life. Swear to God. So, First Eye Chakra Week, which is this week, it's ending tomorrow. It ends on Sundays and starts again on Mondays for me right now. I had to come to this realization that, I didn't have a choice. It was just thrown in my face, where I was able to see that my self-sabotaging traits were impulsiveness. I literally have my notes here. So I'll share some of my questions with you guys. The first question was, what truth am I finally ready to see? So this was my answer. The truth of my self-sabotaging ways, my lack of control I've exercised over my thoughts and impulsiveness. These are all things I needed to become fully aware of, and now I see it, and I'm ready to actively address and heal through this. I always knew that I was an impulsive person, that I can be an impulsive person. But I didn't recognize how much in denial I was about the level of impulsiveness, that I was letting it slide in the background and the impulsiveness was showing up in so many different ways in my reality. So this really brought me to this space of, wow, like some of the simplest things that we can let slide because it looks so small, it looks so simple, can be on the grand level of self-sabotaging behavior, where you will self-sabotage your way out of your blessings. So coming to that realization, honestly, because of the work I've done on my solar plexus, it didn't bring me shame. It more so brought me this level of like drive. I felt driven, and I started looking forward to pinpointing whenever I have a moment of impulsiveness so that I can actually address it, because that's really what I want. And this is a part of sharpening discernment, first eye chakra energy. So I would love to have you guys think about what small thing that you could be doing in your life, in your current reality, that could seem small, but also be very self-sabotaging. For me, it's impulsiveness. And when you make that change and you pinpoint that one small thing, it could create it could be the catalyst to your awakening. It could be the catalyst to you deading that thing that you need to get rid of so that you can move forward and start to receive. Do you know what I mean? So that's what the energy was today. That's what came up today. So I feel like a lot of us are holding on to things that we need to let go of. Now let's circle back around to the decision making. So there's something that you made a decision about in your life that you could be grieving. And I've touched on this topic once before, but I feel like it's really serious. I feel like there's a lot of us in the collective that could be grieving things that we have actively made a decision on letting go and releasing, but no one really talks about the grievance that happens after you let something go. And I feel like that's what makes people so hesitant to release things, because your soul, your spirit knows subconsciously that there's going to be a grieving process that follows behind that, which is fair enough. But it all comes down to making another choice. It's like, it's hard to hold on, but it's hard to let go. But one is rewarding. So you choose wisely. That's what it all comes down to, and you have to make every decision in your life with that intention, that thought, that mindset. So when you are in a place of grieving and you're in a place of having a hard time accepting this new space that you're in, just know that's absolutely normal. And that's only happening because now you've created an empty space within yourself for something new to move in. But then where we can also go wrong is where that empty space is, we try to abruptly fill it up with something, with escapism. This is where, smoking comes in, drinking comes in, partying, excessive sex, like all these things that don't serve you. So now you've put something else into the space that you've tried to clear out and successfully cleared out. And then it hinders and slows down the thing that you've been waiting for to come in. So life is really that serious. Energy really works in that type of way. So I want to implore you to really be patient with yourself when you decide to let that thing go, whatever that is for you. When you release whatever it is, to really allow yourself the process in time of grieving. I've said this again before when I talked about grieving in one of my other videos. I was saying the reason why we grieve is because anything that's coming up to the surface is because it's trying to leave. So that's what the grieving process is about. It's coming up to the surface. Anything that's suppressed has to come up to the surface in order to leave. Your grief cannot stay within the realm of suppression within your body, and then you can just add something on top and just move forward. It's not going to just disintegrate. It has to be removed. In order for it to be removed, it has to come up to the surface. And although that is metaphorically, you can probably even feel it in your body. That's why, when you're holding grief in your womb space as a woman, you might start to feel it in your chest when you're healing. You might start to feel more pain in your chest when you're actually actively healing, and you may not understand, where is this pain in my chest coming from? It's coming from your womb space, because that's where you were holding your trauma. A lot of men hold trauma in their back, especially their lower back. That grief, when you start to release it, it starts to move upwards. So you may start to feel it in your neck. You ever been on the verge of crying and couldn't let your tears out, and you just feel it balling up in your throat? That's because it's trying to come up to the surface so that it can be released. So when we stop ourselves from, feeling the thing that we have to let go of by processing it, then we cause suppression. We create an energy of suppression, and you start to push it back down. So I know it's difficult. I genuinely understand how difficult it is to finally allow yourself to let something go and go through that grieving process. It is so terrible. It's a horrific feeling. But the reward in the end is great. And you don't get a reward when you sit with it, although it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to sit with it, but it's also uncomfortable to release it. But at least when you release it, there's a reward. There's no reward in sitting with it and suppressing it. It becomes more detrimental. So this is something that I really do believe that the collective is dealing with right now, in order to move forward. I feel like our attention and our focus cannot be on making more money, more abundance, more prosperity, manifest. It's like, well, before you get to the point of manifestation, do you have room for it? That's the question. Do you have room for the things that you're asking for? Do you have room for the things that you are praying and asking God to put into your life? Do you have the capacity for that? This is actually a conversation I was having with my girlfriend on the phone the other day, and we were talking about this. Like, your capacity for what you're praying for, you got to make sure you have that, or else God is not going to give that to you. If you're already at capacity because you're filled to the top with all your stress and your worries and your bills and day-to-day life and your job and just all these different things, then what you're praying for, if God gives it to you, because God doesn't give things to you in small amounts, God will give things to you in abundance. So when God decides to bless you, you may fall apart. As beautiful as it may seem, the blessing, as beautiful as it will be, I should say, when it comes in, remember, you're a human being. If you're already at capacity and God decides to bless you on top of you already being at capacity, you'll fall apart. You've heard stories about people who became millionaires and then ended up on drugs and lost everything and then became poor and homeless. They were already at capacity. They were already at capacity and they didn't have the capacity to deal with that type of money. So there's a lot of you that could be praying for more money or to win the lottery or to have, more finances, more financial freedom. But it's like, well, make sure you have the capacity. God's not ever going to tell you no. God's just saying not right now. The moment you pray for something, God's already working on it. And then God's telling you to get in position. Get in position so you can align to this thing. I can align you to this thing and make room so that I can give this thing to you. So there's so much beauty in the ugliness of healing, because God is so amazing. God will make sure that you have what you need at the right time. The only thing you have to worry about in the process is how are you getting in alignment and where's your capacity at? Find your capacity and check it. Do a temperature check on your capacity. Are you at your peak? Are you mid-level so you can handle a little bit more? Or do you have a lot of space? Do you have a lot of room for it? I think that's what we're going to need to start doing. Do a temperature check on your capacity. And I think the best way to temperature check your capacity is check your spirit and check the spirit of the things that you're praying for. Like, for example, if I'm praying for to open up a clothing store. Say I want to open a clothing store, considering where I am in my life right now. I'm going to now think about how I need to show up to run that clothing store. I'm going to have to, go through the red tape of legalizing. That's going to cost money, which the money part, you don't even have to worry about that. God will take care of that. So then now you got to think about the employees, the hiring process, how early you're going to have to get up. Some nights you may not get a chance to sleep. Do you have the capacity for that? You have to consider, if you're in a space where you have a family, can you make time to get up every single day, still take care of your family, and still go into the store and, get things started? Do you have the support team to do that? Like, these are the things you got to think about for whatever you're praying for. It's going to look different for everybody. So this is how you can temperature check your capacity. Put yourself in the position mentally to start operating like you already have the thing. What does your daily schedule look like? Does it align to what it is that you're praying for? You want more clientele. Do you have the capacity for that? If the answer is no to any of those questions, start making capacity. Start making room. If you run a business already and you're looking for more clientele, and I'm talking to myself because this is all a channeling. I'm talking to myself. I'm about to take notes and rewatch this video for myself. But when you say you already run a business, your business is already doing good, it's already in the works, but you just need more clientele, you want to travel more, you want to make more money. Do you have the capacity for those things that you're asking for more clientele? Where's your energy at? Are you taking care of your body? Do you go to the gym? Because you can get burnt out really quick if God decides to put an extra 3 to 4,000 people in your pathway to watch you and support you. Do you have the energy, or are you gonna get burnt out and crash? What are you taking? What are your supplements? What are you eating right now? Are you taking care of your body? Do you get enough rest? You got to prioritize. Do you have a schedule for yourself? Do you have a self-care schedule to make sure that when this thing comes in, you already have this schedule so you can actually handle the high volume of what you're asking for, because you already have your self-care in alignment. So understand that your self-security will always come from choosing yourself. Okay? Making the decision to choose yourself. Making the decision at the end of the day, whatever choice that's hard for you right now, to separate from, to make room for the things that you're praying for, it's always going to look like you choosing yourself. However that looks like, okay? So self-devotion is what it always comes back to. And this is where you find your security. This is where you find your sovereignty. This is where you find all of your financial freedom, spiritual freedom, emotional freedom, physical freedom. Is going to be always in choosing yourself. Thank you guys so much. I do want to share something with you. With my Quantum Ascension workbook, I literally was able to shift my energy into the most beautiful frequency just because I learned to understand what my body needed genuinely for my own self-care. So dosha energy is a quiz that you can take that helps you understand what 3 tiers that you land on energetically. And me being a Veda energy, I realized that I really need warmth, warm foods, warm spaces. I need to be in warm places in order for my energy to thrive. And the moment I recognized that and I started shifting into that energy, it's done wonders for me. So I do want to encourage you, if you need something to help you get back into alignment, because it is a 90-day chakra alignment program that keeps you in a space of self-devotion, the Quantum Ascension Workbook, I am not kidding, is amazing. It's amazing. It's been helping me literally get up off of my face, because I was on my face. If you know a little bit about my journey in any type of way, you'll know I was really on my face, especially in 2023. So I do want to encourage you that if you need any help, if you need any support in getting up off of your face and start moving forward and creating that momentum for yourself, the Quantum Ascension Workbook will do that for you. Okay, so thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope that this video supports you in some type of way. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I love you guys so much. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Peace.